What's up, guys? So on today's video, we are going to be kind of catching up. It's been a little bit since the last video y'all saw, which was uh, last couple videos. I saw my Jeep broke and was down and is in the shop, and then I was riding around with Nathan doing recoveries. Um, Good news and bad news is the Jeep is back, so glad to have it back so I can start getting back to work and everything. The bad news is we can't do recoveries yet, because it has a new set of gears in the rear end. I have to put 500 braking miles on the new gears and then get it serviced because of the break-in procedures and the warranties and all that kind of stuff. Huge shout out to Jeep Slop Shop over in Kemah for knocking the Jeep out and getting it back to me quicker than I was expecting. I was really thinking it probably wouldn't be back until like next week. Ended up, I got it back yesterday, went over there and picked it up, got all that squared away and everything. So huge shout out to Jeep Slop Shop over there in Kemah. If y'all have any Jeeps or four-wheel drive, anything like that, hit them up. They're the ones to get to work on your stuff. So today we're going to just kind of be driving around, putting miles on the Jeep, and I figured I might as well bring y'all along with me. Today, I am over towards like the Wadsworth, Matagorda area. Right now, we're at a pretty cool little spot. This is over on Sims Lane, kind of over by like the Wadsworth area. This is Peyton Creek behind me. Kind of a cool little spot, little creek that kind of runs off. There's a little fork right there. This is one of the back roads I remember from way back in my childhood. We used to come down here, and our parents, we would just go cruise back roads and stuff. And remember, we used to come out here, me and my brother and everybody used to would get rocks, and we would throw rocks in the water, see who could throw them the farthest, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a cool spot, kind of a little, I hadn't been out here in a while, but figured come out here, do some stuff like this, get back to some places that I haven't been in a long time, and just kind of take you all along with me. Probably go check out some like historical monuments and stuff. There's some state parks and stuff around that I might try to visit between today and tomorrow. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on this video. I don't know if I'm going to include in tomorrow's stuff, or I'm going to try to rush it out and get y'all a video update. But yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now. I just wanted to kind of break the news. The Jeep is back, but we're not ready to start working yet. My goal is today's Saturday, so y'all might see this video tomorrow, which would be Sunday, or maybe, I don't know. It depends on how much footage I get today. So my goal is between today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, put the break-in miles on the Jeep, and then Monday, Tuesday, whenever I have the miles done, get it back over to Slop Shop, get them to do their 500-mile service, and then we're good to go. I can start doing recoveries again. So we'll get into kind of more of the reasoning of why the Jeep broke and what I have to do moving forward. It's pretty far down here. I was hoping there was a way I could get more down to the water, but doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do that here. But yeah, we'll get into more of that later. We're gonna go hit the road, get some more miles on. I think in total right now I have like, between the little bit of driving I did yesterday and today, I think I've got about 75 miles on the Jeep right now. Got to put 500 on it, so not quite there, but we're getting there. And we got several more days before I could even get it to the shop. So between now and then, more than enough time. But part of the break-in procedure, you gotta like heat cycle the gears. So you gotta drive it for so long, probably 50, 60 miles or so, and then stop, let the gears cool down. Because obviously driving, the gears get hot, you know, all the oil and everything. So drive it, you know, get it hot, and then stop, let it cool down. Drive it another 50, 60 miles, whatever, stop, let it cool down. So that's what we're doing over the next several days. Is I'm just going to be making little drives. I'm going to go, and then I'm just going to stop. I'm going to go, and I'm going to stop. So I decided this was a great place to stop, eat my lunch and everything. I'm going to go keep making some rounds through the area, seeing all the stuff and doing, and then that, you know, my goal is in the day today with, you know, 200, 250 miles on the Jeep. And then Sunday, same thing, a couple hundred more miles on the Jeep. So that way by the time, like Monday, I drive all the way back to Kemah, I have my 500 miles. So that's the plan. There won't be any recoveries in this video unless I get to go ride with Nathan or somebody if he gets a call at some point, which is possible. I've actually, last night, it kind of made me mad. I actually got several really good recovery calls that I couldn't do because the Jeep was not, it's not broke in yet, and I can't risk hurting the gears again. And luckily this time the gears were under warranty. I had to pay for parts, or the parts were under warranty. I had to pay for labor, so that was good, and you know, saved me some money. But I got to make sure I do that. I can't go and just rush into it and start doing recoveries. So got to knock that out before I can do anything else. So Jeep's had a bit of time to cool down. We're going to get back on the road and put some more miles on it. So let's go. Let's go see what else we can find. So we're heading over towards Chinkapin right now, which is like a little small fishing town, kind of. Right now we're coming through a curve that y'all might remember, actually right here in front of us, that open kind of spot right there, like right at the apex of that turn. A while back I did a recovery at tow. A little bit of wobble. It's normal, it's a Jeep thing. And this is back when I was still working for one of my previous employers, and that was that corner that we did that recovery, and I'll put a little clip in here for it. It's all the way in there. But this is Chinkapin Road here. This comes back, there's like a bunch of farm fields. It takes you back to like this little fishing town, essentially. Just like a bunch of little fishing spots that you can launch your boat or whatever. There's some beach houses, a little small community back there. And some more of the back roads and stuff that I used to frequent back whenever I was a lot younger. We used to go just ride around and stuff. And it's been years since I've been able to stop and just come down here, so I figured I'm out and about putting miles on my vehicle, might as well come here. right now, we're just a little ways down Chinkapin Road. Kind of a cool little place. This little road that cuts off right there, that's we call Shoestring Road. And we'll probably end up down there here in just a little while. If you go down there a little ways, it kind of opens out to some fields. Way back in the day, I think we were probably 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that. Used to go duck hunting and goose hunting back there on those fields. And some of those fields back there is where I shot my first goose and first ducks and that kind of stuff. So I've got a whole lot of history out here in this particular area. This is like the area that I grew up in. This particular road is the road that I learned to drive on many, many, many years ago. So all kind of coming full circle, if you will. So this is the first time in a long time I've been out here. I think this is the first time I've ever had this Jeep out here. I've had a few of my other Jeeps that I've come out here with, but it's been a really, really long time since I've been out here. So kind of cool getting to just cruise and see some stuff that I ain't seen in a very long time. So you can kind of start to see, I don't know how well you can see off in the distance, right about there probably, the little, not really a town, but that's Chinkapin over there. Over here on my, should be my left, that's Lake Austin back off over that way. Over here to the right is just a whole bunch of marsh and wetlands. There's actually some pretty good, used to be some pretty good public hunting back off in there. Of course, nowadays, for those of you that are duck hunters, we don't have hardly any ducks that come down here anymore. That's a whole different story. But we used to go duck hunting and stuff back there, and we used to do pretty good. And nothing like what it used to be, but it's kind of a cool area out here. There's normal. I remember growing up out here, and there'd just be ducks and geese everywhere out here, because this is the roost. This is where they come to every night, you know. So it's crazy how things have changed over the years. Starting to get down here to where there's some of the little fishing spots and stuff. You get to this little part of the road here, and there's water on both sides where you can go fishing or catch bait or do whatever. I remember coming down here as a kid, and there's sides of the road would just be lined with people fishing. There ain't even nobody here right now. It's kind of... So this is Chinkapin here. So just a little small little fishing community. The boat ramp is right over there. Kind of see over there. That's where we used to launch our boat when we would go hunting and fishing and stuff sometimes. There's a bunch of little beach houses and stuff all around. I don't know how well you can see it on the map, but it kind of goes and dead ends over here at the Intercoastal Canal, which is where we're gonna, probably our next stop is gonna be. Haven't driven probably another 20 miles or so, but it's a good place to stop. Let me get out, we'll walk around, and we'll talk a little bit more, and let the gears cool down a little bit more, even though we haven't really put that many miles on it yet. Well, this sucks. It's been so long since I've been here. I guess I hadn't seen that they blocked off the little entrance where you get back there to the water. There used to be some little, you could just pull, you can actually see it on the map where you could go around to here and stuff, and you could get right to the water. You used to go back, kind of same thing. You used to go back there and throw rocks in the water and fish and all that kind of stuff over there, and they got it all blocked off now. I was kind of wanting to get over there because right over there is hey, look, there's a boat. You can see it going behind that house about here. There's over on that point is where my dad, my grandfather's old bait camp was, and I was trying to work my way over there. It's if you look on the map here, that would be this point right there is where it's at. I was planning on going around there and being able to kind of end the video there, but it's like we're probably going to head back towards Shoestring now, and we'll go talk more over there about why the Jeep broke and everything going, you know, what I gotta do moving forward, so, or my plans moving forward, so we're gonna head back that way. So this is Shoestring Road. This is that road we were talking about a minute ago, where it leads back off into the fields. Some of the fields we used to hunt on. We used to have hunting rights on. There was back then they were farming rice. There's a bunch of rice fields back there. Now hardly anybody farms rice down here. Which is probably a reason for the decline in their duck numbers, as well as, you know, a bunch of other factors, like all the rice farming's moved up north, and they have all kinds of rice fields up there where they just flood it basically for ducks and just let them eat the rice. But this area and this road is also like a really big history thing, because some of y'all might remember, and I've had a bunch of people get it mixed up. My company is called Nidox Towing and Recovery. Nidox, I get asked like why not, like what that means, and that's my dad's old CB handle. Back in the day, they used to ride three-wheelers and their trucks and stuff like on these rice canals and stuff. That's where they would go mudding and stuff at, and this road used to be like really bad, muddy and stuff. There was actually a few small little mud holes back there, but it's all pretty much dry right now. There's actually a little mud hole right there. And back in the day, it said Nidox was my dad's CB handle, and they would, you know, get on the CB and like, hey, Nidox, we're stuck, you know, and he would go pull them out and stuff. So that's why I named the company Nidox. I've had a bunch of people get it confused, like this was my dad's company and stuff like that. And it's like I started it, but I used a name that's kind of a throwback to him, you know, because I remember him telling me all kinds of stories of them pulling people out and getting stuck and playing in the mud and all that kind of stuff. But here are the fields. We used to go down there and ride around, and so this all used to be rice field. It looks like it's corn now, and can't hardly see nothing, but this is a lot of memories back here. This I don't know how well you can see it. We're gonna try to stop over there, that tree line that's right there. On the other side of that tree line, there used to be a ryegrass field, and there used to be just thousands and thousands of snow geese that would go and sit on those rice fields, on those ryegrass fields. we had hunting rights for this field, so we would go down the road here and then walk, and then put ourselves between us and or them and the roost, to where they would have to fly over us. And I'm talking just huge waves, just thousands and thousands of geese would just fly over at a time, and we would shoot them. This field right over there. This field here is where I shot my first goose, my first ducks, all kinds of stuff here. So really cool area back here. So we would go down in there, drive down a ways, and then stop, and then walk the rest of the way, and going down this way. The road used to get all kinds of muddy. I remember several times we almost got stuck trying to get here, because we would come in off the highway and then come down this road to get here sometimes, but trying to rush in to get to the geese. But it's probably not very wet right now because of how it's been a few weeks since we've had rain. But anyways, getting back to the Jeep and everything, as far as the reason that the gears broke again is not the same as the last trouble that I had. The last bit of trouble that I had was 100% caused by the shop that installed the gears in the Jeep to begin with. Really, really long story. The footnotes of that is, the first time I had trouble with it, which was really, really early on in the YouTube channel stuff, when they installed the gears, I was driving full time for a different company, so the Jeep just sat a lot. I had like 200 miles on it, and the company that installed the gears didn't tighten the nut on the pinion correctly, or enough, or it didn't have the lock. They had put Loctite on it, or like the little lock nut part of it had fallen off during the install, or got damaged or whatever, and the pinion fell down inside the axle housing, and didn't destroy everything like it did this other time, but it hurt it. And I needed my Jeep. They didn't want to pay to fix it, so they just patched together, said, hey, it's not hurt terribly, but just drive it. It's good. It's drivable. So okay, whatever. It didn't cost me any money at that point. I needed my Jeep, and so I got it back. So fast forward a little bit later, the Mojave Jeeps have a locker in the rear end, but not the front. So the rear locker light started coming on. They started getting metal shavings in the rear axle. I took it to the dealership to see if they would cover the locker under warranty, or there was like a little sensor that was a known problem on these things. And I went to see if I could get it covered under warranty, because warranty was fixing to be up. And they opened the cover, found all the metal shavings in the rear end, because the gears were eating themselves because of the damage that had been done before. So I took it back to the shop that did the gears and was like, hey, like, we need to figure out what's going on. And they reset the gears and stuff, and at that point, like, the gears are hurt, but same thing, they just patched together, got my Jeep back. Little bit later, the pinion had stress fractures in it, and the pinion itself blew up. So took it back to the shop. They did a whole brand new set of gears. I dropped the Jeep off. They did it. I got my Jeep back, and you could hear this like humming sound. And they said, put some miles on it and bring it back. We'll check it. Brought it back. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to service it again, and they're going to reset the gears. They said it was a little bit out of tolerance. I don't know how that happened, but long story short, it went back to them like 2 or 3 more times. Eventually found that the bearings were bad because they didn't replace bearings. after the rear end, after the pinion and everything blew up. So I had to go and buy like $400 worth of bearings because you can't get them at a parts store. You have to get them from the dealership. And they set the bearing tolerances so tight that they couldn't oil themselves. And eventually, as we saw a while back, I'll try to put the clip here. The rear end blew up spectacularly, trashed the entire rear end. I had to put a whole new rear end in it. So fast forward to where this last time, got the whole new rear end put in it, reset the gears. Jeep was night and day different. Has never driven so well since I've had gears put in this thing. So during the break-in period of those gears, at some point the gears got hurt, probably. That's what I believe happened. Because I could always hear a little bit of a clicking sound. I assumed that it was the rear drive shaft going out, so I didn't think of it. I didn't think anything of it because it started developing this clicking sound. And after a while, a couple months, that's when it let go. I was still thinking drive shaft, so I pulled the drive shaft out of it and then still noticed that it was making noise. And that's when we found the rear end this last time. So this issue that we just had, completely different issue from what was before. So totally different issue. Not even close. All the people are saying, they're making comments and stuff about it. Not even close to the same issue. Moving forward, I do plan on building a set of 1-ton axles. My buddy Nathan actually has a set of 1-ton axles that would be perfect for this thing. And as soon as I get all of my life stuff going on, getting settled, which I think we are getting close to having that done, and I get caught up on everything, I am going to be building a set of 1-ton axles for this thing. But in the meantime, until that's done, I'm going to be just being a lot easier on the Jeep. I'm not going to be doing any super hard kinetic pulls. If there's something like really bad stuck, I'm just going to winch it out. If there's some cars stuck in the sand and that kind of stuff where I can just nice and easy pull them out, I'll do some kinetic recoveries. But I'm not going to be out there yanking on stuff real hard or anything like that, because that's obviously really hard on the rear axle. So that's kind of where we're at, getting here and moving forward. So yeah. Also, mosquito. In the very near future, I plan on getting back to towing soon. My plan is to bring the little wrecker back into service. Mosquito. I plan on bringing the little wrecker back into service. That way I have a four-wheel drive wrecker, since I'm trying to push more towards the off-road stuff and less of the on-road towing and that kind of stuff. My big wrecker will be for sale soon, probably. So, for anybody that is interested in my big international wrecker, it's a 12-ton. I think it's a 97 or 96 international, if I remember correctly. 4700 12-ton Jordan, HPL 60. That truck will be for sale in the near future. If anyone wants to buy it, $15,000 and it's yours. Good, solid running, driving truck. Does have a few little oil leaks and hydraulic leaks and stuff like that. Otherwise, it is a perfect running and driving truck. I'll even leave some of the chains and equipment and stuff on it, so it's ready to work. It's got frame forks, it's got a fifth wheel adapter, all kinds of stuff on it. So anybody that wants that, do not call me about it. Go to email me. Email's down in the description. I think it's towtruckdustin@gmail. Email me if you're interested in the big wrecker. Little wrecker, I do not plan on being for sale right now unless somebody just wants to offer me a lot of money for it. Could be for sale, I suppose. Don't really want to sell it because that's my first truck. I'm really partial to that truck. I got it from Casey Liddell, and Don't really want to sell my big wrecker particularly either, but if I'm gonna have to sell one or the other to settle my divorce and stuff, I'd rather it be the big wrecker, even though it's technically the more capable truck. But I really want my four-wheel drive wrecker so I can do recoveries and beach stuff. I've really needed that truck on the road several times recently, so that's kind of looking forward for the channel itself, and the company and all that. So I think we're gonna go ahead end this one here. I'm gonna go and put some more miles on the truck or on the Jeep. We're right at 100 miles now, so we got 400 more miles to put on it. So just gonna go focus on driving and all of that. I just want to give y'all an update on the Jeep and let you know it is back, it's fixed, and all that stuff. So the next videos you see after this should be some off-road recoveries and some stuff. So thanks for bearing with me in this little slow patch, and we'll be back to our normal recoveries and stuff like that soon. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If y'all would, subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.